So hello everyone, we have 5 students from labor studies and practice course, and they are Dhanraj Kaushik, then Aman Vasho, then Ashwini Mahajan, then Riddhi and Sushant Borkar. So these are the students who are going to tell you about the course. They are also going to take questions and doubt, and also they are going to show you a PPT about the course. So we will start with a brief introduction. We'll start with Dhanraj Kaushik. Dhanraj, go on.
Okay, good evening, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Dhanraj Kaushik. I am from Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. I have done my graduation from Ramjas College, University of Delhi. I'm a 2020 pass out. And during and after my graduation, I have done multiple internships in content writing and social media marketing. And recently, I have done my winter internship, which is a part of our curriculum at DCM Shriram Limited as an HR intern.
Ashwini, go on.
Yes, hello, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Ashwini Mahajan. I belong to Maharashtra, Nagpur, Maharashtra. I have done my bachelor's in thermal power engineering from National Power Training Institute, which is under the Ministry of Power. Later, I chose to prepare for civil services and devoted a year for it, post which I joined my father's venture. Working with him and the employees at our firm, I personally experienced the challenges associated with the labors. And that's why I decided to enroll for this course and get to the to understand how these challenges can be dealt with. So that's why I chose this course. And this course provides us the opportunity to work in the field of HR, IR, CSR, and data analytics, which will be briefed in this session later. Thank you.
Okay, Sushant, go on.
Hello everyone. Hello sir. So my name is Sushant Borkar and I have done my graduation in economics, Bachelor of Arts in Economics from Ruia College, Mumbai. And then post that I was preparing for a civil services examination. And then I got into TISS Mumbai and I'll be graduating in the year 2024, MA Labor Studies and Practices. Also, I have done 3 internships. The first one was in HR domain at RDC Concrete India and then at TCS South Africa. And recently, I finished my winter internship, which is a part of our curriculum at Godrej Properties as an HR intern. Thank you.
Okay, so Aman, you can speak now.
So Namaste Prateek sir and every aspirant presented here. I hope you all are amazing and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. If I talk about myself, my name is Raman Raj Basha and I am a student in Labor Studies and Practice under school at the School of Management and Labor Studies. And if I talk about my current winter internship, I have done program development in tech intern at Magic Bus India Foundation. And I am from Chhapra, Bihar, and I have done my graduation from the University of Allahabad in Bachelor of Arts program. And if I talk about my area of interest, so it is a part of labor and different kind of HR and IR things. That is why I just joined this course.
Okay, Riddhi, you can go on.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Riddhi. I have completed my engineering and my LLB from University of Mumbai. Thereafter, I was practicing as a labor lawyer for around 1 year. I also did my brief practice at a law firm in patents and trademarks because I have a techno-legal background, after which I was selected into TISS LSP. Recently, I completed my internship at Godrej Properties as Diversity, Inclusion and Employer Branding Intern under the GPL HO Mumbai. And yes, so here I am. I will be briefing you later on in the session about the opportunities this course provides, labor as a subject and the opportunities it has to offer. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so we'll first want to know what is this LSP program. So Dhanraj, can you brief?
Okay, sir. So basically, the MA in Labor Studies and Practice program, which is offered by the School of Management and Labor Studies, is a unique program developed by the International Labour Organization, which is ILO, as a part of its Global Labour University initiative. This program trains students to develop specialized skills such as field of research, industrial relations, human resource management, skill development, capacity building, and corporate social responsibility as well, along with an expertise in capital and labor allocation and optimization. TISS Mumbai is one of the 7 universities of the Global Labour University and there are only 2 universities in India associated with GLU, TISS Mumbai, and the other one is JNU.
Okay, so this is basically, you can say, is motivated from the initiative of ILO, and also you said that it is one of the few places in India where such things are covered. Okay, industrial relations, as it was called, so it started, you can say, very early, how to manage these workers and how the collective bargaining should happen between the management and between the workers. Okay, so for that we had several trade unions. Okay, so how they function, how the trade union functions, how the decision making happens, all of that, what should be the relation between employee and the employer. For that we had several legislation. Just after independence only, we had a lot of legislation we study about. Okay, we had Factories Act, Industrial Relation Act, and so on. So I think that is also taught and covered in this course in quite detail. And what is more important here is the same branch or industrial relation branch developed is the root of the HR course of this TISS Mumbai, and that developed into personal management branch, because HR is a very new concept. Before that, what it was personal management basically, and that personal management has become HR now. Now there is something new which is coming up, which is ODCL. That is a new branch altogether. So labor relation is at the core of any industry. Your course, that is LSP, was quite popular before by the name of Globalization and Labor. So yes. Globalization and Labor was the name, and what happened some 3-4 years ago, that the name was changed to Labor Studies and Practice. Okay, so Riddhi, I would like to hear from you. Would you like to add something? What the insight to this in the course?
Yes, sir, sure, of course. So as Sir mentioned, labor as a subject is at the roots of human resource management and organizational change. Labor is a term that is not clearly defined. It's an evolving term. It came up with the industrial revolution that happened in the UK, followed by the wave of trade unionism in the 1920s in India. Today, where we stand when we look at labor is at the emerging 4 labor codes that we see. And again, the discussion around labor is in vogue. So as the changes are happening in the society, we can see that the labor legislation is changing and taking place. So labor is a very broader term, which this course helps you to understand. It allows you to work on both the sides, at the management end and also at the end of the trade union or the workers movement that is there in India. So the best thing that this course offers is you can be part of the management, you can be a part of the trade unionism, you can work in NGOs. If you see the curriculum, it offers you a vast knowledge in the informal sector or in the informal economy as well as the formal economy. 90% of the economy in India is still informal, and this course teaches you to organize informal labor. If you see today, a lot of corporates are coming together and forming their companies around informal labor. You see Uber, the drivers have been unionized or brought into the formal economy in a way. We are moving towards gig economy or platform economy, so to say, especially after the post-pandemic world. And even the present world needs an understanding of the labor in a very different way. So therefore, this course provides a very unique opportunity to understand labor in the present scenario. Thank you.
Okay, so you are basically saying that a new ecosystem of gig economy has emerged in past few years. So that is also a new opportunity for, to better understand the ecosystem, to better understand the dynamics of the future. Okay, so that is one thing. Now I would like to know what are the specific criteria that you should be having a graduation degree in this course or that course.
Yes, sir. There is no specific criteria to enroll into this course. The only thing is you should have a bachelor's degree in any field. So students in LSP batch are coming from the engineering background, social sciences background. So there is no specific criteria.
Okay, and another thing I would like to ask you is, what is the diversity of age in your course?
Diversity of, so the average age of our students of our course is 24, but there are students who are 28, there are students who are freshers, like 21, 22 years of age.
Now, Sushant, I would like to know from you, what is the process, the first process, TISSNet process? Can you explain that in brief, the selection process that is? Yeah.
Yes, sir. So basically, the ongoing process which has already started, the TISSNet registration. So it begins from that, and in around Jan to Feb, we have the TISSNet examination, where we have 4 sections that includes English, GK, aptitude, and reasoning. So that part, and then after the TISSNet examinations, when the cutoffs are out, then we have a result in our hand where we get to know that we have cleared the cutoff for so and so courses, whatever preferences we have put.
For TISSNet, your batch, the cutoff was 58, I believe.
Yes,
It was
sir, 58.
Yeah, it was 58. Okay. So after TISSNet round, you will have extempore and OPI.
Right.
So I would
Yes.
like, again, one by one, everybody will speak about their experience of next round. So Dhanraj can start, and then we can come to Ashwini and Riddhi.
Okay, sir. So my OPI and I would like to share my OPI and extempore experience. My extempore topic was organizational behavior, and it was completely random. But I thought that I had this subject during my graduation, so they picked it from there. So I explained about organizational behavior in detail for about 2 to 3 minutes, and my interview was completely deaf based. They asked me a lot of questions from my deaf. As I mentioned that I was from an industrial town, Korba, Chhattisgarh, which is pretty famous for its coal mines. So they asked me about major industries of my place, condition of labor, uh, and they also asked me about my future plan and one follow-up question after that. And they asked me 2 separate questions, such as what are the other courses have you applied for, and why have you applied for this particular course. So overall, in a nutshell, I would say my interview was completely deaf based.
Okay, Ashwini, go on.
Yes, sir. So my example topic was women in STEAM field, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I, being an engineer, coming from that background, I have shared my experience because I was one of the 15 girls in the batch of 70 students. So I've shared my experience. What are the challenges that I've faced being a thermal power engineer, and the age that I have because I was a female engineer there. So I've shared that experience of mine. And regarding the personal interview of mine, so they asked me, they don't ask me any question from the engineering background of mine. So I have mentioned my UPSC experience. So most of the questions were related to that. So I was asked the question on constitutional morality. Then I'm coming from the Nagpur, so they asked me that what is the significance of Diksha Bhumi here. Then they asked me how the challenges of Dalit women are different from the challenges of the women that are coming from the privileged background. Also, they asked me why I chose this course instead of the other courses. So, and yeah, these are the questions that they asked me.
Okay, now Riddhi, can you speak?
Yes, sir. So, as I mentioned, I am a lawyer and I had shown a lot of interest in diversity and inclusion in my DAP. So, my topic was glass ceiling in corporates, and it revolved around how women have to face external factors as well as internal issues in the corporation to get over in the managerial positions, even if they have their merits. Regarding my personal interview, since I was a lawyer and having practiced in the courts, I almost knew that I would be asked on the labor codes. So I was very well prepared on the labor codes and the need for the implementation and the practical difficulties, and which, as expected, they did ask me. The second part, during my interview, they asked me about my hometown. So my family is from Konkan region of Maharashtra, and my grandfather was the one who migrated to Mumbai for work. He was a mill worker, and therefore then they started asking me questions on the history of trade unionism in Mumbai especially, and the mill workers in Mumbai, their conditions in Mumbai. So to sum it up, I would say even my interview was around my DAF and the interactions that happened during during my interview. I had also appeared for TISSNet for the interviews back in 2018 when I was just a fresh engineering graduate. I hadn't completed my LLB then, and I had given the same interview. Back then, I had no background of labor or human resource management, and my interview was vague and I couldn't answer questions. I had scored very poor in the interview. But come today, I knew what I wanted to say, and I also expected the questions that they would ask me because I had a background and I was very focused on the direction I would be asked my questions on. So this year, I scored really well. I scored around 87 marks in my interview, which was one of the highest marks. Back then, in 2018, I scored lowest and got out of the round only because of bad interview marks. So this is the two difference. When you're a fresher, you don't know what to prepare, and the questions asked are very random. And it's not like the interviewers don't want you to answer questions. It's just that they don't understand the areas in which they need to ask questions. So I believe when you fill up the DAF, it's very important for you to give them a set guidelines in which they should be asking you questions, so that they can assess you in the best of your abilities. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Sushant, you can take.
Yeah. So as everyone has mentioned about the DAF, so even my interview was revolved around DAF. So I would like to give a suggestion that don't keep your DAF vague, as Riddhi mentioned. So the questions that were asked to me were based on the DAF because I had mentioned a flow of answers in the DAF. So basically, it started with my academic background. So since I have done economics as my bachelor's, so I was asked questions on economical theories. I was asked questions on various economics. And then I had also mentioned about UPSC preparation post my graduation. So they had asked questions about the optional. So I had studied political science. So they asked me about theory of justice, just to check my knowledge, just to understand whether I have well read the subject. I have that understanding in me. So these were the questions, and then it moved towards the course. So they asked me about trade unionism. They asked me about a name of famous trade unionists. Then they asked me about Factories Act. Then when I mentioned that I have studied Factories Act a bit into bits and pieces, so I was asked the definition of factories, the definition of manufacturing process in the Factories Act. I was asked questions on gratuity as well. So there were questions on labor laws as well. Also, whatever answers you are giving during the previous questions, they are always followed up by someone in the panel. So I was cross questions. So I don't remember exactly, but I had mentioned about Northeast somewhere in a particular answer. So I was asked by the panel that can you name some oil companies that exist in Northeast? So these were the cross questions that I got from the panel, and also they asked me questions on my hometown. So I come from Pain, Raigad. So they were well aware of the Ganpati idols and the market over there, and also the industries in Raigad. So they were asking me about the informal sector over there and how industrialism is rising in Raigad. So these were the questions during my interview.
Okay, so Aman, you can speak now.
Yes, if I talk about my DAF detailed application from our second round, if I talk about, so it is first, the extempore topic is related to the labor only, and they don't ask me a different kind of things. It is about labor. And in the second round, they have most of the questions is around my only on my what I feel in the detailed application form. That first time they asked me about my introduction, and this time from the Bihar. So why this kind of migration is happening there, and why and what is the problem of industries there that people migrate from this side. And they normally ask for my background, that where I am coming from, and what is the problem, and how the industry is set up, and what are the current rules and regulations in your state, and what the current implementation of government is going around. So it is all related to labor only, and they just want to understand about that, what is my perspective on all the things, and how as a social security perspective, or that I think about the informal sector, about the labor.
Sean, can you start with the
Yeah,
presentation?
yeah. Thank you, Riddhi. Yeah. So I'll be briefing about the course. So basically, this is a course information presentation. So I'll be speaking about how this course will help you and what are the core competencies of the course, what are the subjects that we study throughout these 2 years, and then we have fieldwork stints as well. So how those internships and fieldwork stints help us, and what are the durations of those fieldworks. So basically, this is a potent blend of academia and fieldwork. So this helps a student to get better placed at organizations. And what are the organizations that we get placed in? Where are our alumni working, and what are the roles that we are offered? Next slide. Yeah. So this is the overview. So basically, MA in Labor Studies and Practice, it was formerly known as MA in Globalization and Labor. So the course, when it was started in around 2006 and 7. So the main focus about this course was to have that perspective of labor in mind. So trade unionism was very active. So these were the perspectives in which the course was made. That is MA in Globalization and Labor. And then it was recently renamed to MA in Labor Studies and Practice around 1 or 2 years back. So the 2023 batch of Labor Studies and Practice will be the first batch who will be graduating under the name MA LSP. So basically, it is a course in School of Management and Labor Studies in TISS Mumbai, and it was incorporated by the International Labour Organization, which has a part as a global labor university. And then this course aims to professionally to make students professionally competent and socially sensitive individuals. So it includes the corporate side as well, and as well the trade unionism and labor and informal economy as well. Yeah, so the main domains that the students get to learn and get to work in are which revolves around the industrial relations, employee relations, skill development as well, and then capacity building, CSR. Then we have public policy, and many students go for research as well. So we have student exchange opportunities also, where students visit the University of Kassel in Germany. Recently, one of our senior batch student went to University of Sydney for her student exchange program in the public policy domain, and so she had completed 1 semester over there. So you get to you get those opportunities as well. And revolving around the industrial relations, human resources, employee relations, skill development, we get to know about the capital and labor allocation and optimization. So we have subjects like macroeconomics, which help us to understand the capital and labor allocation phenomena as well. So the course is a rich blend of intensive fieldworks and theoretical knowledge as well. So the core competencies that the students work as interns and as full-times after placements are industrial relations and employee relations, which include, we have subjects like conflict management and negotiation, and industrial relations jurisprudence. So labor laws, labor codes play a very vital role in industrial relations domain. So we have subjects like state intervention, where we study all the labor laws to understand the industrial relations and to tackle the IR situations better. And then we also have CSR as a core competency. We have students who have worked previously and also in the previous winter internships as CSR interns, where students learn about social dialogue, social protection and state, and women and work. So the other competencies are research and policy making, where students, as I have mentioned earlier, that students have visited various universities abroad as well for research domain. They have worked in governance and public policy. We have our alumni working in ILO for in the research domain as well for labor as a subject. And then we have labor management, which includes all the domains where we have trade union strategies, labor law specialists, and then we have students who work in globalization and informal economy as well. So many of our seniors are working for the informal economy, where, for example, for the domestic workers in Mumbai, for the rickshaw drivers, auto rickshaw drivers. So the process of getting them unionized and working for them. So we have students working over there as well. So briefing about the course curriculum. So the course is split into 4 semesters, and we have certain credits to be fulfilled in every semester. So in the first semester, the foundation courses are common for all the courses in TISS. These are the compulsory subjects for all the courses in TISS Mumbai campus. And then we have subject-specific, course-specific subjects such as sociology of work. So this helps us understand how work revolves, how the sociology of human tendency, what is the human tendency, what is the sociology of work. And then we have elements of microeconomics, macroeconomics. We have globalization and informal economy as a subject, social protection in state, where we understand why certain government schemes are important, why certain social security measures are important for people working in industries, people working in government sector as well. And then we have labor and formal organization, which includes few topics of organization behavior as well. Then we have state intervention, where we study labor laws and the labor codes. And then we have IR, where we study case studies, as in how previously certain IR situations were handled, and how we can better we have that better understanding on how we can tackle such situations in future with the help of labor laws as a measure in our hand. Then in second semester, we will be studying organizing informal labor, as I've mentioned, where our alumni are working. Then we have trade union strategies. So this course gives you a chance to understand the trade unionism as well. So maybe if you're working as a corporate, you'll be able to understand how trade unions work and how you can handle such situations. Then we have conflict management and negotiation skills, where it helps us to tackle IR situations. We have subjects like governance and public policy. We have core ideas in labor studies. So basically, overall, all the subjects revolve around the core thing is labor. So wherever there is labor working, we have a stint over there. We have a competency over there. So we have open electives and elective foundation courses as well, where we study participatory training methodology, which helps us to understand the learning and development process, the training and development in organization. So it gives us a better chance to understand the learning and development process, and contribute as a L&D intern, or maybe full-time L&D manager. And then we have dissertations as well, as because research is something where even the world is moving towards analytics and research. So having those competencies in us helps us, because basically data speaks. So when we understand data, when we analyze data, when we have that research in our hand, we are in a better position to answer and to contribute to the organizations. So even dissertations helps us. And we have field research and field visits, where we visit the informal sector and the corporate sector as well. So talking about the internships, so I'll briefly explain about the internships. So after the first semester, we have a winter break before the second semester, and we do our winter internship over there in the first year. So recently, all our students have pursued their winter internship, and we have started with the second semester in this week itself. And then comes our summer internships in the month of April and May. That is a 2-month stint, where students work as CSR intern, L&D intern, HR intern, diversity inclusion. Then we have IR and employee relations intern as well. So after the summer internship, we directly have a block internship, which is a part of our third semester. So between the second and the third semester, we have the summer internship. And then immediately after the summer internship, as a part of third semester, we have block internship for 2 months. So that is a credited one. So we have 8 credits for the 2 months internship. So after that, we have a break between third and the fourth semester where we pursue our next internship for 1 month. And then we also have the last one where we have the trade union internship. So recently our the senior batch have started with the trade union internship, and they'll be completing it for around 1 month, which gives them 4 credits, and they'll be completing the rest of the subjects of 4th semester and be graduating in the year of 2023. So this is about the field work. So it gives us a better it gives us a better opportunity to have that employability skills, have that experience as interns, and have experience in various organizations and learn about their culture, learn about the labor situations over there, and contribute to the organizations. So as I've mentioned, we have fieldworks, and then talking about the recruiters that have been recruiting from globalization and labor previously, and now labor studies and practices. So the international organizations include ILO. Then we have NSDC. Recently, 3 of our batchmates have interned at NSDC. We have ITF. Then we have IUF. Then we have the Global Union. So these are the organizations which our alumni are working in. And then we have the private sector, private sector organizations where students have been interning and are placed at Aditya Birla, Cipla Health, IFB, Havels, EY, Genpact, Haier, Mahindra, Schindler, whatever the names are mentioned on your screen. So even I have personally interned at Godrej Properties recently. Dhanraj has interned at DCM Sriram. Ashwini has interned at Carnival Group. Riddhi has worked on diversity and inclusion at Godrej Properties. So these are the core competencies, and these are the organizations that offer us roles because we study all the subjects that I have mentioned earlier. So it gives us a plethora of options to choose from. So you can go in whatever interest you find during the course, and you can go to that direction. So this is something very exclusive to labor studies and practices in TISS Mumbai. So no other course has this concept where we call as annual labor conclave. So it is called Vaishvik, and it is during the month of January and February. And especially in TISS Mumbai, annual labor conclave is something where we invite industry leaders, we invite leaders from the trade union side, we invite leaders from social sector as well, and we have the leadership talks, we have their sessions, we have a sort of conclave for around a week. And preceding to that, we also have the Vaishvik lecture series where students get to learn from various industry leaders on their perspective. So this concept, this annual labor conclave gives us a perspective from the corporate side, from the social, basically the leadership, whatever they have their perspective in mind, the students get to learn about them and try to adapt them, try to practice them, and be a better individual and to contribute to the organizations. Yeah, so talking about the alumni, so we have the various alumni working in social sector as well, in international organizations, as I've mentioned. We have our alumni working in ILO because as we all know that labor studies and practices is a part of Global Labor University, which is a part of industrial international labor organization, ILO. So we have our alumni working at Hono, Byju's. We have our alumni working at Indian Oil, EY, ActionAid, KPMG. So these are some of the organizations where we have alumni working at. So recently, even one of our alumni was being appointed as a deputy director human capital, because just find the link that that I've mentioned in the subjects. We study microeconomics, we study macroeconomics, we study core ideas in labor studies. So this gives us a perspective of the finance side, the capital side, the human capital side, so that we become better HR professionals, IR professionals, and CSR and L&D professionals. We understand the microeconomics as well. So this helps us in our career as well. Yeah. So this was all about the course MA Labor Studies and Practices at TISS Mumbai. Thank you.
Okay, Riddhi. Okay, Riddhi, now can you speak something about the 4 labor codes which are there? I mean, the 4 labor codes have come and how it is going to impact the labor market in future. Start over that.
Yes, sir. So labor legislation from the years have there were around 29 labor legislations in the central list and more than 200 labor legislations. If we see all the states having their own labor legislation, labor is a concurrent subject. Every state has its own legislation and center has its own legislation. So labor as a subject over the years has become very complex. In order to simplify the labor legislation, the central government has come up with 4 labor codes. Most of the labor legislations have been divided into 4 codes. Widely speaking, the Industrial Relations, the Wages Act, the Occupational Safety and Hazards. So under these 4 labor codes, there have been new definitions that have been tried to be incorporated with the changing times. Like for example, the definition of wages have been changed. This will largely impact the compensation packages that the employees will take back home. The definition of employee and employer has been changed. The new labor code tries to define the gig and the platform economy workers under the Code of Security.
Also, there is a term fixed term employment.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So earlier, as Sir mentioned, the fixed term employees could not get any benefit under the labor laws or the labor legislation. And if you see, a lot of contractual workers were kept away from these benefits. Now the new labor code tries to define them so that even they can seek certain benefits of the permanent employees. They couldn't have access to gratuity because gratuity, you need to work at least for a period of 5 years. Now, even government has made certain provisions that 1 year of work can also be eligible for gratuity. So all these changes have been coming up in the labor laws, and of course the corporates needs people who has understanding of the labor codes. There are consultancies like Deloitte, KPMG, who are looking for people who understand these labor laws, because if you see, a lot of work is being going under the compliance part. Every company in the coming future will want to have professionals who will know how to make their own organizations compliant with these labor codes. And these labor codes are not even, they are in the stage of implementation. It will take around a period of 2 to 3 years. There have been a lot of debates and discussions that have been going on about how to implement these labor codes. Plus, then comes the gig and the platform economy workers. We see post-pandemic, a lot of people have shifted from working in full-time employment to platform workers. They have, and also freelancing. And not all the workers, when we see IT workers in that sense, a lot of empowered because they have higher pay packages. But when you see other gig workers like the taxi driver, the Uber drivers, the Zomato workers, they aren't that employed. Even they are fighting for a sense of social security, and the government also needs certain regulations to even regulate these platform or the gig economy workers. In this essence, if you see, there is a lot of scope even in corporate sector, in the social sector, and in the government sector, all the 3 sectors, where with the new changing dynamics around labor, we need professionals who understand labor thoroughly. Plus, there is another debate that is going on. Is there a shift from formal working to informality, or from informality to formality? We don't know, because if we see today, a lot of people, even if working in the formal sector, they are moving towards informal sector. Like I previously mentioned, in the post-pandemic world, a lot of freelancing work is going on. Plus, government, on the other hand, is trying to bring a lot of informal workers into the formal sector by under a lot of measures. They are issuing this self-identification card to street vendors and everything. So we don't know where the world is trying to shift. Under these circumstances, this is a course which helps you understand both the areas better, the informal sector as well as the formal sector. And even in the NGO space, I believe there is a lot of scope for skill development. I personally worked at Godrej Properties this winter, and as part of diversity team, I had a project where I dealt with, I designed a skill development program for the transgenders. And my network, how did my network and this help me is, I have a lot of alumni who are working in NSDC, and NSDC, we all know, are exclusively working in skill development. And I could actually bring people on board from NSDC to help GPL, help conduct the skill development program. And a lot of NGOs like Peri is exclusively working in transgender community. So I actually sourced, helped my team understand that we can help source these NGOs for sourcing purpose of transgender. So when you are at TISS and LSP, this network and people, alumni working in various sectors actually helps you even in corporate and established sectors. So this is one advantage that you have when you're into such a diverse course. Also, one thing I would like to mention is a lot of people are not very sure where they want to end up working: consulting, corporates, HR, public policy, research, or go into academia, future for masters and PhDs. This course is one course which keeps all your areas open. It offers so much diversity. In that sense, I think this is one course to think about.
Okay, so there are some questions. So Dhanraj, could you tell us about the type of roles which are given after the placement of the placement?
Yes. As Sushant has mentioned, the types of role that we get after completing our master from this course. So basically, the area of domain is industrial relation, CSR, and most of the aspirants, most of the candidates of LSP work in HR. As Sushant mentioned, that one of our alumni from batch of 2015 has become deputy director in Mintra in human capital. So these are, we can see a lot of roles has been provided to the aspirants of this course. And so basically IR, CSR, human resource, these are the areas in which our students get placed.
Okay, Ashwini, could you tell us about the placement, how the placement have been? And
so recently placement has been recently companies have taken some of our candidates, and the average package for them was 17 LPA. The maximum was 20, and the lowest was 12 LPA. And for internship, so one of our candidate got offered 1.4 lakhs. So and the average would be somewhere around 90.
Yeah, so as Riddhi said, that when you are graduating from an institute like TISS, you will have better connections in the field of labor. Basically, that is always going to help you further evolve your role, and the initial placement, whatever you have, the future, the launch pad is very good. You are going to use that connections to further, go to better position. As Sushant was telling that some of the seniors have gone to very good positions. Okay, so we will take now the questions one by one. So there is a question that I don't have any internship, and how shall I do any internship or field work or do any research? Having a intern or research or something is going to help in the interview for the selection? I don't think so. There is no criteria for internship for selection.
Yes,
okay. So that is totally fine, I think. Then there is another question. I will read that question. It says that type of roles one would get after the completion of LSP sector that one can get placed in. So that Dhanraj has already said, and in the PPT also you got to know that what are the type of roles: CSR, then industrial relations, and then trade unions. You can join any of that. And then there is another question which says, what was the cutoff last year? The cutoff was 58, and are globalization and labor studies same? So yes, they are same. The globalization and labor studies, the same thing has been repackaged as labor studies and practices. Okay. So now the student, yeah.
If
Someone
possible, may I
wants-
just go through this globalization labor and how this change happened. I mean, globalization labor to this labor students practice.
Hmm.
If just I share a little brief about that, how this happens and labor studies.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. So the MN globalization labor is an integral part of the vision of initiative of Global Labour University, as already we mentioned that NGO is promoted by ILO, which is International Labour Organization, and academically administered by the TISS. So the course Globalization Labor first started in the year 2007, and the MA and G&L is aimed at providing new generation management competencies. And the basic ways to address the forthcoming challenges, research and training, optimizing using the contribution of human resource in the development process at the micro as well as macro level. So that's why this course is started. And the beneficiaries or the students of this program in TSS have developed the competency to justify the aim of GLU, right? So the ILO is a tripartite organization. So that is why to understand both the side of the like how the field workers or the workers is going on, and how the corporate work, like how the managers of industries and how the senior levels is working on that, to combine both of the things, this course has finally initiated. And this program is to the LSP, Labor Students Practice, is now delivering in research, industrialization, employee relations, skill development, capacity building, corporate social responsibility, human resource, public policy. So this is a very open domain.
So Riddhi, tell me what is the basic difference between HR course and this LSP course?
Yes, sir, sure. So, as this LSP student, we personally do not draw any comparison with HRM. First thing I would like to clear that, and HRM and labor studies is completely different courses. HRM is more inclined towards management. It's an MBA HR management course, which is more inclined towards personal management, which are required in the corporate sector. LSP, on the other hand, it keeps labor in mind, and labor can be viewed from both the perspectives, as I've mentioned, actually from three perspectives, because in IR there are three parts or three players. One is the employer, the other is the employee, and the third is the state. So labor studies in practice is been designed keeping in view all the three actors. So we study subjects which are related to the corporate sector, like we study organizational behavior in formal economy or the formal sector. Then we study trade unionism, subjects in trade unionism, so that we understand a labor from the perspective of employees. And third is also the state. So there we study all the labor legislations, the labor laws, and the state intervention subjects. So all these three subjects are kept in perspective when you study LSP. In case of HRM, it is more of a course that is designed for the corporates or the corporate HR. And so to say, when Sir mentioned, industrial relations started in the UK during the times of industrial revolution, and labor as a term has kept evolving post that. So when we see LSP today, all those changes have been kept into perspective when we study LSP. HR as a term has evolved much later when we move towards the corporate HR part of it. Industrial relations, so to say, it comes much prior to human resource or personal management, and this subject is studied from that perspective. So that is the major difference between the two courses.
Okay. So any other doubt, if you have, then you can ask, you can write in the comment. I think they are replying also to your comments.
So there is one particular question from Ashwini.
Yeah, go on. So
Yeah, I think Ayush Dhiman has asked me a question. I think he is also an UPSC aspirant, so that's why he asked me the question. So he's asking me my score. So my score was enough to get into this course. So justifying your gap years. So I think if you are continuously doing something, because even if there is a gap between my post-graduation and my graduation, but in between I was preparing for the services. I was working with my father. So that if you will explain to the interviewers this in details, they will understand it. So gap years won't affect your entry into this. So get clear about it.
Yeah, so what I can share my insight is, so I have a lot of UPSC aspirant as preparing for this exam, and they are in ODCL, they are in HR, they are in labor studies also, and they are in development studies also. Okay, so TISS is not going to talk a lot about your gap years. What they want is conviction. You should show your conviction why you want to join this course. Do you have some interest, or you have just come up for a course just because it gives you a good package or something? Okay, because there will be people, most of the people who apply for a course, they apply because of some package. Okay, so what I have seen, they don't want students like that. What they want is those students who have conviction. Yes, this is my forte, this is the thing which I want to do for rest of my life, and I can really enjoy doing that. So that conviction should be shown from you in the interview, in your DAF, and that is what is more important. So whatever course you take, the first thing is you should have the conviction that you should love your course, and then only you should choose. It's not like that. It is not a transactional relation as such. Okay, so don't think it in that way. Try to develop insight into the course. Try to study. Go to this website and study what all is there in the syllabus, what you will be studying. If you like that, then only apply. And you can also talk to some seniors. You can go to official websites and everything. Do your research and then apply for whatever course you want to. I have low marks in my 10th and 12th, so it will not affect in TISS. This is a common question again, so it is not going to affect your selection at TISS. Then one more point I want to highlight here is choosing of options. Suppose you have chosen HR as the first option, maybe LSP as the second option, and development studies as the third option. Then number one thing is you are not allowed to change that after you have filled. Okay. One more question there is, that is, sir, how I will justify taking this course because I'm an engineer?
Sir, I want to add to that.
Yeah.
Sir, around 33% of our batchmate are engineers, and one is from two of them from NITs, NIT Surat and NIT Calicut. So there's no, discrimination.
That conviction, whatever
yeah.
I said, whatever I told, you
Yes.
should show your conviction that you like this particular domain and you have researched about this domain, and there should be some interest which should reflect while you speak, while you give your interview, and then they will understand that you can be a person who can take this course or who can be a good resource in this field.
To tell here that I was terrible when I gave my first interview to Prateek sir. Prateek sir is one of the reasons for me being into TISS. So he corrected me. He told me what are my weak areas and what are my strengths. How should I prepare for the interview? So because of his guidance is really valuable. And if somebody wants to take a mock or the mock interviews or the mock test, they should get enrolled for the courses provided by the Prateek sir.
Sir, I want to share my experience as well. As I just cleared the cutoff for the LSP, and I was very nervous, and I got to know you through your YouTube channel, and I made it to LSP all because of you. I signed for your OPI and extempore sessions, and you reviewed my DEF very minutely, and there were some daily extempore sessions in the clubhouse and daily classes covering all the expected interview topics. And I'm very fortunate that I'm your student, and I'll be forever indebted for your teachings.
Okay, thank you. So thanks for that. And so apart from whatever I will tell you or any other coaching will tell you, what is more important here is your conviction for the course. Suppose you have interest in the field, go and first of all, whosoever joins my course, I tell them also go to the website of TISS, go through each and every word which is out there. They might ask you anything. Okay, so first do that and see for yourself whether those subjects which are there in the syllabus, semester syllabus out there it is. So whether you like doing that or not, if you have interest in that particular thing or not. And then only if you have interest, try to develop your interest in the field, read the newspaper articles which are pertaining to the field. For example, the 4 labor codes are there. So whatever the 4 labor codes are there, the history of trade unions, whether it is, helping laborers or it is a drag on the economy, all of that is very important. And yeah, the pandemic and the effect of pandemic on labors, that is a big topic. Okay, somebody was discussing this thing with me. So you should try to focus upon the challenges which are there. Automation can be one challenge to the labor. Pandemic was one challenge. Migration, as Aman told, that from Bihar people are migrating to different places. So that is a challenge. How these challenges can be taken care of. And then the gig platform which is out there, the platform workers, gig workers. So what is this new gig economy? Because that is a buzzword. You should be aware of these things. Try to develop interest more than anything. Try to develop your own interest, because no one can spoon feed you. The interest should come from within. So yeah, that is the thing. So I will stop the session here only. So thank you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks Aman. Thanks Sushant. Thanks Riddhi. Thanks Ashwini and Dhanraj.